Every Turkey Bowl starts with prayer and the national anthem before we get to the wonderful highlights, so here's that.
I love this country! I need to rewatch that.
The start of the game is a defensive battle as JP gets pressure on Dom, making him throw the ball quickly to Joe Rocco, one of his few targets of the game. Joe Rocco tries to make Chuck miss, but Chuck shows his strength and pulls the belt and breaks it.
I feel like this should be a Nate job. Nate, you want to take stats? You know what this is more than Nate.
Yeah!
Quarterback JP is trying to find an open Chris on this play, but Francis jumps right in front of him and steals the target, resulting in an incompletion.
Inside.
In where? Oh, this?
Yes. Stick your hands in.
Yeah, get that flag. Yup.
Yeah!
Brad gets a sack. He comes through the line practically untouched. All of JP's receivers are covered at the moment. The pressure gets there. Ashton's there first. JP ducks him, gets past Thomas, but Brad ultimately gets the sack.
I know. I'm aware.
And Nate's not even questioning.
Jack uses his high IQ and speed to get a sack here on Dom DeSilva. The pressure's too much. Dom rolls out. Jack gets there faster than Dom can throw the ball away. Sack.
Chris Cox injury fund is starting.
Screen play to Ben Christensen. All three wide receivers are lined up as blockers. Ben gets the ball, and he is super fast. He tries to get the outside, but Jake cuts him off. Jake grabs the flag with quick hands, and that's a stop.
I just feel like it's stupid.
What more is there to see?
Matt Steele's only reception on the game beyond the line of scrimmage is an excellent play design. Joe Rocco and Rob Whalen are open, but Dom hits Matt Steele on a crossing route, and he goes out of bounds. Rusty was quiet in this game, but what went wrong? Let's take a deep dive. Here's one of his targets. The ball is a perfectly thrown ball. What happens? Oh, it hits him right in the face. Jack cannot take another concussion. He's had so many in his life. And it slips away from him. Here is another Dom DeSilva interception on the game. Dom is looking for a route over the middle to Ben Christensen. He's being defended by Chris. Dom, once again, never looks away from Ben. He wants it right here when Ben is open, but Chris has such recovery speed, and Ben had to stop. Chris gets over there, bobbles it a little, but Chris comes down with the interception. It is a beautiful play. No return back. But then Francis is flagged here from unnecessary celebration and unsportsmanlike conduct as Francis runs 50-plus yards to go and do a chest bump to the quarterback, Dom DeSilva. This trick play is poetry in motion. We have Francis on the fake motion off a low snap, no problem. Francis gets the ball. He gives it back to Chris. Chris fakes it. He's running. He's got the defense spinning, and he hits Jake perfectly on the sideline. Jake toe drag. Is he in? Yes, he's in. Completion. Beautiful.
Please.
Where do I gotta go?
So then you can put your hands on the thingies.
Hey!
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of the codes. Snuggies. I don't know what they're called.
Is this Lamar Jackson? No, it is not. It is JP. Look at how this pocket perfectly forms a hole for him. Carlin, Sean, and Chuck doing great work. The middle is wide open, even with the low snap, and he gets a rush off. Should have hit Jack in the corner, but this is a nice 15-20 yard gain by JP with his legs. A nice block by Chris at the last second. Nice move on Rob Whalen, and he gets to the ground and gets a few extra yards.
day, boys.
This trick play called back because Chuck was an ineligible wide receiver. Perfect handoff to Chris. Francis sells the fake, sets a chip on Brad. Brad leaves Francis on his assignment, leaving Francis wide open. JP also was coming open over the middle, but Chris threw to Chuck. Didn't know he was an offensive lineman, but it's a great play. Chuck shows off his speed and receiving ability. JP causes havoc on this play, getting in the backfield before Dom can even hand the ball off to Thomas, forcing a fumble. That ball is on the ground, and JP gets Thomas's flag before he gets up to the line of scrimmage. Great play, great defensive effort.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. Who's winning, though?
Terrible play here by JP Percett. It's truly horrendous. Chuck, Carlin, and Sean gave him a great pocket. He sees Jack is open. He throws it a bit late. It goes behind him. He should have hit Chris over the middle. Interception, Rob Whalen. Rob Whalen getting things done on offense and defense. Let's give credit to where credit's due, and on this credit, it goes to Carlin. Carlin was looking really good as a defense lineman. Watch him work one-on-one against Thomas Rocco. He even hits Thomas with a spin move, allowing Jack enough time to get that sack and pull Dom's belt before the ball's out. Ben Christensen was open in the middle.
These poor soccer players should just try to do their job.
Solid run here by future father Jake Gebhardt. Jake Gebhardt gets to the outside edge, gets past Brad, makes a move on Joe Dunn, and he can get to the outside, and he is fast. It's a nice solid gain for Jake Gebhardt. Here's a play of Ben Christensen making something out of nothing. He takes the handoff from Dom, and he even fumbles the ball on this play, but he's able to pick the ball up in stride, make it past two defenders, and get a good yard gain. Ben Christensen showing off his stuff and his speed and athleticism. He's got JP and Jack on the ground, and it's a great play.
His ear, but he got his ear.
The ball is out! Before he even got that!
Out of bounds again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's a play that was called a sack on Dom DeSilva from JP Percett. Great officiating by Sean Howe. JP comes off that line unblocked and gets the flag before Dom can give the handoff to Matt Steele. That's JP's one sack on the day. There was a bit argument on the ref. Dom thinks the ball got off before, but Sean rules it a sack, and Sean is the almighty ruler on those stuff.
If we had Sammy, this game would be
Chuck.
Oh my god. Is he dead?
Here's the play JP tore his ACL and his meniscus on. It's really a nasty juke by Thomas, making JP and Chuck run into each other. Their knees collided. Chuck said he heard a pop. Now, why we kept this video in despite all of the time is the fact that JP, he got right up after that torn ACL. Chuck stayed down for a little longer, but that's fine because Chuck formerly had cancer. But we're going to give some Team Spirit awards right here to Thomas Rocco and Joe Rocco for carrying JP off the field, while his own sister, Kat Brissett, walks right by him in the hoodie and goes right to Chuck. She doesn't care about JP. It was like JP meant nothing to her, only to Thomas and Joe, and that is all that matters in life. Look at that. Look at them helping him, unlike his sister. Rude, if you ask me. Jake came in as quarterback, and on his first play, he hit Chris on a dime, and that's like a 40, 50-yard pass. Chris with an excellent catch.
Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt like another trucker and then you can't walk on it. Stupid, he's stupid. I love he's so stupid. Oh dear. Woo!
Help me over there.
Woo!
I gotta celebrate. Jake filling in for JP was one of the greatest performances we've ever seen in Turkey Bowl history. He picks up the snap off the ground. He rolls out. He sees Chris is open. Chris is calling for the ball. Jake says, I'll heave it down there. Chris is down there somewhere, and Chris is on a Hail Mary pass to the end zone. That's a touchdown. The following play was a pick six. Francis picked off Dom, but that was not recorded before halftime, and it was an excellent performance.